Went along to the doctor. They just basically write up all the, blood test pathology form for you to have testing without really explaining what was going on. So I made an appointment to go and get my ultrasound done, and I think at that time my chance of having a baby based on my age was about 1 in 350, but on that day of that scan my chance was 1 in 2. So I really didn't have a lot of room to move. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting, and when I was told that by the sonographer, it just felt like, my world was spinning. I could feel like blood pumping through my ears. I just felt, I just couldn't believe it really. So it was the end of the day, which wasn't very good timing as there wasn't a doctor to be able to come and talk to me. So, and I was by myself at the time.
When we received our results, we actually had taken our 18-month-old daughter with us, thinking she would be excited to see her little baby up on the screen at our 12-week scan. And then that kind of turned into a bit of a whirlwind. She did not want to be in the room at all. And then the sonographer scanned over the one spot for about 20 minutes. So my husband had to leave, I was by myself. And she basically then went on to say that it wasn't good and that I was now high risk and I needed to go to my doctor. Thankfully, my doctor was really great in actually giving me the outcome of the scan. But at that point, it was a Friday afternoon when I had my scan, and it was a long weekend. So it was a couple of days until I was going to have a positive word spoken over me. But at that point, it was a pretty scary weekend of what that kind of meant, because I had had a baby before, so I knew what we were scanning for. So it wasn't great.
So we did the NIPT with all our pregnancies. For our first daughter, Scarlett, I think we had a brief discussion with our obstetrician about the test, and we were given some pretty basic information about the genetic conditions that it screened for and how the test itself worked. And then the second time with April, it was an even briefer conversation that was just basically like, let's do the same tests as last time. So we did it, we did the NIPT. We just thought it was a routine test that everybody did, didn't think that much about it, and assumed that it would come back as a low risk result. So when it didn't, we were pretty shocked and surprised.
In that we received the news with incredibly poor language, with a lot of fear, and delivered in a way that made us feel like it was probably the worst case scenario that could have happened. And added to that, we had a little baby as well in our arms. So I think that there was a lot to be said for the way the doctors and nurses, albeit for some out of a lot of probably love and care and wanting to help, just scared the bejesus out of us.
The information was the big thing, trying to get a head around what was going to happen, not so much the bad things, but what could happen in the future and how the good things could develop.
He gave us a bit of a reality check and said this is the 21st century and we live in a world where there's so many support services and excellent healthcare services to support children that are born with Down syndrome. So I suppose he gave us a true picture, and he told us the positive features, the positive aspects of having a child with Down syndrome, and he didn't emphasise the negative features associated with it.